work with Connexp. Connexp is an African edu fintech company. What we majorly do, of course, is working within the educational ecosystem. So, in the spirit, of course, of getting to know ourselves, I think it's overall for we to introduce ourselves. We know that for today's meeting, there are two categories of individuals we expect, of course, to be attending today's meeting. The first category are prospective MBA candidates, and the second category are obviously prospective STEM candidates. STEM, of course, are for those in sciences, for those in technology, for those in engineering, and for those in mathematics-oriented career paths. Whilst, of course, for those interested in the MBA program, it means you currently work either in a management role or you work in a business organization, obviously, and the goal, of course, is to go into a management role. So whichever, of course, one you belong to, you're totally welcome to this evening's webinar. Obviously, that aims to explain what we do and how, every one of us in today's meeting can actually benefit from what we're going to be saying today. Now, please, as part, of course, of what we do, I haven't played the initial song and our national anthem. We would expect for every one of us to introduce ourselves in the comment section. So please, if you just introduce yourself in the comment section, just tell us your full name, tell us where you're connecting from in Nigeria, in Africa, and if you could also tell us what you probably do, if you're comfortable, of course, wanting to do that. Then more importantly, you could also let us know where you aspire to do your MBA or your STEM-oriented MSc, whether it's in the US or in Canada. So let me just reiterate it again. Just tell us your full name, tell us where you're connecting from, and of course, tell us where you aspire to take on your MBA or your STEM-oriented MSc. So I can see a Joseph Mbakwe. Sorry, Joseph, if I killed your pronunciation. So my name is Joseph. I'm connecting from Lagos. I'm connecting from Benin. I'm connecting from Accra. Of course, I desire to do my MBA or my STEM-oriented MSc in Canada or in the US. So if we could quickly just do that in the comment section in the next few minutes, just tell us your name, where you're connecting from across Africa, but more importantly, also tell us, of course, where you aspire to run either that MBA program or that STEM-oriented, MSc. So I can see that introduction coming in currently. And okay, so I can see John Asegame, or sorry, Osegame. Sorry, brother, if I don't kill the pronunciation. I can see Daniel Ofara connecting from Lagos. You also aspire to school in Canada. I can see Lovett from Lagos. You aspire to do an MSc in the US. I can also see Barakat Afolabi connecting from Nigeria. She would love to do an MBA in Canada. I can see Joseph connecting from Lagos. Also interested, of course, in wanting to do an MSc in the US or Canada. I can see Ibrahim Ayola connecting from Washington State. You want to do STEM-oriented and of course MSc. I can see Adeoye Manoa connecting from Lagos. You intend to do a PhD in chemical engineering. I can see Gregory. Okay, sorry, boss. Gregory. Oh, geez, man. Okay, let me just go with the Udo. I can obviously pronounce easily. You're connecting from Akwa Ibom and you desire to do an MBA. I can see Olali Konjobri connecting from Lagos. You aspire to do an MSc. I can see Odo Tsuga George from Nigeria. You also want to do an MSc. I can see Ibitoye, interested, of course, in an MBA. Uche Chuku, MBA. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. I totally, of course, appreciate all of the intros that are coming in. Yeah, super exciting, of course, to read all of our intros. Well, obviously, the kind of persons and the kind of professionals that we expect, of course, in today's webinar. So, quick question before I go, of course, into the details of how our loan process actually works. I would love to quickly, of course, explain why we're here and, of course, what exactly we are trying to do. But more importantly, beyond just explaining why we're here and, of course, what we're trying to do, I think it's also for people to understand, okay, the company, hosting this webinar today, or let's say the of course, every fintech company. So just give me 1 minute. I just want to share my screen. Just 1 minute, please. Let me just share my screen for the benefit of everyone. Okay. So yes, so like I earlier said, my name is Elder, and I will be our moderator for today. Now we are called Connect Pay. Connect Pay is an African edu fintech company. We're based, of course, in Lagos, Nigeria, but currently we operate in about 8 countries, fully across Africa: Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Uganda, Rwanda, Malawi, and I think one more country. If I can remember off my head, I'll probably call it out before we're done for today. But obviously, Nigeria is where we have our biggest operations. And of course, we're a Nigerian started edu fintech company. But of course, we operate across the African continent and we service all of Africa. So long as you're African and you're high potential, whether you're an HND graduate, whether you're a BSc graduate, whether you're a 2-2 graduate or a first class graduate or a 2-1 graduate, so long as you have quality work experience, we believe that, of course, we should be able to democratize access to global education opportunities for high potential individuals of African descent. Now, let's even go beyond looking at, will I say, what, beyond our high potentialness, beyond the fact that, our quality candidates, beyond the quality work experience we have, beyond the impact we might have made on society, beyond all of the good things we've done professionally, beyond even how much we earn. For many of us, we all have this desire. Please, whatever hands we're raising, we can raise up the hands when I'm done, of course, explaining the way the process works. So we're going to ask questions at the end of my explanation, not before that, so that at least we just have that time to, explain. And once I'm done explaining, of course, we'll now move to the next stage. So, like I said before, and of course, like I earlier said, that beyond all of us, of course, being high potential, we know for a fact that for many of us with the desire to emigrate out of the country, whether we want to emigrate to the US, whether we want to emigrate to Canada, looking for that better life. Let me use Nigeria as an example. The bulk of course, the audience today are Nigerians. But even if you're a Ghanaian, or you're from Rwanda, or you're from Uganda, or you're from Kenya, or you're from Malawi, or you're from Zambia, you obviously might be able to relate to, the example I'm going to be giving right now. What's that example? The example of the fact that in Nigeria, for example, we're not finding it funny, of course, with the economic situation, the high level of insecurity. We have a lot of things to contend with when it comes to our political leadership. And like, for example, a good example is, of course, the dollars. Yeah, officially, dollars might be below 500, but in the black market, we all know that we get dollars for almost 700 naira today. And you can imagine if things continue to dwindle the way they currently are, it means that by next year, before Buhari hands over, dollar might probably get to about 1,000 or 1,000 plus, to a dollar. And imagine like how crazy that would be when we begin to exchange a naira. Of course, just to get $1 notes would be probably spend like 1,000 naira. That is like a lot of money from, of course, the context of a Nigerian or even an African. And the honest truth is that for many of us that are here today, we're all hardworking professionals, we're hardworking individuals who've tried to build a career despite the anomaly in Nigeria. So one of the major things, we try to do in Connexp is to ensure that for as many of us have that desire, as many of us have that willingness, as many of us are committed to wanting to relocate, we believe that education is the easiest pathway to relocate out of Africa. Education is the easiest pathway to relocate out of Nigeria. For education, you can put a specific timeline to it. I want to resume in January. And of course, you work towards January in leaving the country. I want to resume in June, which is summer of next year, and you can work towards that timeline. Or better yet, I want to resume in fall of 2023. And of course, you put that definite timeline to work towards that resumption. Now, the good thing is that anyone, of course, with an excellent career record in Nigeria or in Africa, wanting to utilize education as a pathway, you are not desperate because things are bad for you in Nigeria or in Africa. You're not desperate because you are frustrated here. You're not necessarily desperate because, oh, if I don't leave this country, I might probably never be able to get to the peak of my career. No. For many of us, the desire at this stage of our lives will not be driven by that kind of desperation or frustration or just because, oh, I just need to leave this country. That desire to want to take on a global education is simply driven by value. And what's the value? Knowing fully well that if I come, like, let me use an example. Someone in the comments says he has 17 years quality work experience. And of course, from what he has said, he has obviously worked across the ranks, building through, of course, the various businesses and going through the ranks to work as in a commercial leadership position. Now, imagine that kind of a person taking on an MBA in the United States. What it simply means is with the 17 years experience and an MBA, that's a global education. I can assure you, someone like that would not find it difficult, of course, getting quality opportunities when they graduate. And some person might wonder, okay, why is ProConnect Pay strictly focused on just MBAs or just STEM-oriented candidates? Like, why is ProConnect just focused on these guys? Obviously, we all know why that is. If you do an MBA, it is easy, very easy for you to get quality job opportunities when you graduate. Very easy. When, of course, you do an MBA. Now, the same also with STEM. When you also run a STEM-oriented program, it's also very easy for you to get quality job opportunities. But now, beyond, of course, getting quality job opportunities, a STEM-oriented program affords you getting 3 years what we call optional training program. So it means that when you graduate, you are guaranteed 3 years work opportunities if you study a STEM-oriented program in the United States. The good thing is that for Canada, whether you study a STEM-oriented program or you study an MBA, any approved accredited university you study in the United States or Canada obviously guarantees you that quality opportunity to, of course, get good jobs when you grad. And of course, for Canada itself, all you need is just getting that admission and getting to resume on campus. Once you do that, you are guaranteed postgraduate work opportunities. And the good thing is that as Nigerians or Africans, we're all hardworking folks, right? So once, of course, you've gotten that admission, you've resumed over there, what is the next thing you need to bother yourself about? Okay, guys, I need to ensure I can actually get quality job opportunities that allows me, of course, to become a permanent resident, but more importantly, that also enables me to become a citizen down the line. So if, of course, you aspire to any of these things, I want to do an MBA to get quality global job opportunities at the back of my experience in Africa, at the back of my experience in Nigeria, I can totally and completely assure you that you are in the right place. For some of you, your desire might also be anchored on the fact that you want to give your children, you want to give your wife, you want to give your husband an opportunity, of course, where they can live in a society that rewards hard work, where they can live in a society that rewards that consistency in terms of excellence, that culture of excellence. So while some of us, of course, might be very comfortable in Africa and very comfortable in Nigeria, we always think of the fact that whatever my children, in the long run, will they find it easy, of course, growing up in an economy such as ours? But I believe that if they were to probably go abroad, aspire, study abroad from their high school down to their university education, it's very easy for them, of course, to make it. Not because, of course, those guys are trained success on the road. You obviously have to work very hard for your success. But the good thing is that once you are abroad, and of course, you're in an ecosystem that rewards hard work, that rewards good, that rewards excellence, your children or your spouse will obviously find it very easy, getting at least to the peak, and also getting to the peak, but being able to maintain that momentum at the very top. So for some of you, your desire might still be driven by the fact that I don't just want that quality life for myself, but I also want that quality life for my children coming behind me. I also want that quality life for my family, for my spouse, even for my extended ones, maybe my younger siblings or my extended family members that you obviously want actually to see succeed in future. So whatever motivation, whatever it is that is driving your desire to be on, or of course, attend this particular meeting of today, I can totally assure you, ProConnect Pay would obviously, of course, service all of that interest and all of that, and get to break down how all of this process actually works. Please just give me 1 minute. Let me just drink water quickly. Okay, so someone asked me that very important question. Elder, you guys say you fund tuition, you fund cost of living. Cost of living, of course, in this instance includes your accommodation, your feeding, your transportation, and any other cost, of course, that comes with living in a particular country. We also get to fund your health insurance, and we also get to fund your flight ticket out of Africa. So I remember the first day we shared out, of course, the BC. Someone kept asking me, ProConnect Pay, how exactly are you guys doing this? Is this like a charity, or is this a loan, or is it a scholarship, or is it a fellowship? Like, what exactly are you guys doing? And of course, how do you intend to give someone 100,000 US dollars? This is not 100,000 naira or 100,000 CDs or 100,000 SEPA. No, we're talking about 100,000 US dollars. So how exactly does this work? This looks very fake. It doesn't look like something that is probably feasible from an African point of view. So I would also understand clearly, what exactly is this thing you guys are saying, fully funded, fully funded, fully funded? Is it a scholarship? Is it a loan? Is it a fellowship? Is it fully funded graduate assistantship? What exactly are you folks doing? What exactly are you folks doing? So to answer that first question, let me backtrack to who Connexp is. Connexp is an African edu fintech company. We're an African edu fintech company. So what it means is we're like a bank, but of course, in this instance, a fintech company that operates within the educational sector. You could Google this up anywhere. We're the first ever fintech company that is focused on the educational sector, not just in Nigeria, but across the African continent. We're the first ever. So what it simply means is we are not a charity organization. No. For many of us, we might have tried out scholarships, we might have tried out fellowships, we might have even probably done for the Commonwealth program, shadowing program, even try applying directly to schools in the US and Canada, and yet we find it very difficult landing these fully funded programs where obviously we can get that money or probably get them to fund us to study abroad. Now the truth is, beyond scholarships and fully funded opportunities, maybe like graduate assistantship, you will most likely find it very difficult getting any alternative source of how to get $50,000, $70,000 to enable you study abroad. And remember what I said at the very beginning, that the easiest pathway to emigrate out of Africa as of today, specifically in Nigeria, is utilizing education as your pathway. It is the easiest pathway to emigrating, utilizing education. Not because applying for a direct visa to probably relocate abroad is entirely impossible. Obviously, it is not impossible, but that can take forever and ever and ever and ever. Compared to the educational pathway, if I decide I want to study abroad in January of 2023, I can begin to put in the work from today to ensure I resume in January of 2023. If I put my mind that I want to resume in September of 2023, I can also place my mind towards that direction. So Connexp is like your option of what I call last resort. I've tried a scholarship, I've tried fully funded programs, I've applied for graduate assistantship, I've probably applied for one program or the other, and yet I've not been able to get fully funded opportunities. And I don't know anyone that can sponsor me. I do not have an organization or an uncle or a parent or maybe a relation somewhere that is willing to fund my education to the tune of these thousands of dollars I would need. That is exactly where Connexp comes to play. We provide you with the education finance you need, aka what we call a loan, to enable you accomplish that desire to acquire that global education in the United States or Canada. Specifically, if you are going for an MBA or if you are going for what I call a STEM designated program. And like I earlier mentioned, for the benefit of others, of course, that are just joining in, the major reason we only fund these two categories of programs are because they guarantee you quality job opportunities when you graduate. Quality job opportunities when you graduate. Quality job opportunities when you graduate. If you study a STEM designated program, first, you are guaranteed. You know, I'm going to answer all of the questions on how it works. We're going to get there. A STEM designated program guarantees you automatically 3 years post-graduation work opportunities. Now, in 3 years, in fact, I was reading an article this morning, and I was just smiling as I was reading that article. In 3 years, 3 years means that you are not bothered about looking for a job or looking for work visa. You automatically get it because you studied a STEM designated program. So 3 years is more than enough time for you to approve your mettle in an organization and for that company to be willing to sponsor your work visa. 3 years, more than enough time. Unless, of course, your village people are following you from Africa to the US. Then I think you would say that is totally impossible. The same also applies for an MBA. If you do a 1 year or 2 years MBA in the United States or Canada, you're guaranteed good opportunities by virtue of the MBA you go for. Because that MBA program you've done prepares you for a career in the world of business, backed up by the experience you have from Africa. So what it simply means is, if you are unemployed, or if you do not have a career path that we deem exciting, we might not really be inclined to want to work with you. Not because we're segregating. No. It's actually for your own good that you have good work experience coming from Africa, backed up with your global education. That will guarantee you opportunities when you graduate. I can tell you for free, the opportunities in the US and Canada is the job market is extremely competitive. The school you will be going to, you're going to be going to school with people from India, China, Thailand, South Africa, the UK, Germany, even Americans and Canadians that probably flip over between US and Canada. So you're not just competing with your fellow Africans or your fellow Nigerians, but you're going to be competing with people from across the world. So the skills, the knowledge, the know-how you will take from Africa must be commensurate and be at par with what is globally attainable. So the major reason we tell people, anyone, of course, we're going to fund must be candidates that are quality. Your work experience must be on point. You don't need to work with an MTN or a Chevron or a Zenith Bank, of course, for us to deem you high potential, or for us to deem your experience high quality. No. What stands as quality is the consistency of your career path. You've worked for 10 years, for 8 years, for 5 years, for 3 years minimum, and you've had a consistent, progressive career path. So once, of course, you fit this bill of candidates, I can tell you for free, Connexp would be very happy to invest in your education to enable you to use that as a pathway to relocate. Not because you are desperate, not because things are bad for you in Africa, not because you are frustrated with the system, no, but simply because you desire that opportunity to acquire a global education that guarantees you opportunities in Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 1000 companies. And on the flip side, like I mentioned, looking at the way Nigeria or African countries currently are moving, for many of us, the desire to change environment could also be driven by the desire to give our families equal opportunity and access to an environment that creates equal opportunities for them. So whatever motivation you have, the motivation of acquiring a global education on your resume, or the motivation of ensuring that I can take my family to an environment that guarantees them quality opportunities, trust me, you are totally fine and welcome on the Connexp Japa platform. So let me quickly Google up some information I will also share with everyone in the house. Now, of course, why do we like sharing this information in the house? We're not sharing this information to enable us have an understanding of what opportunities exist when, of course, we graduate. But beyond the opportunities, if you were to do an MBA today in the United States, how much do we think you can actually earn? Because I think it's very important for us to weigh what we earn here and what we think we might earn if, of course, we do an MBA in the United States. So let me Google that up for everyone to see. So what is the So you see, I'm being specific in my search by saying immigrants, because I don't want to assume that, oh, all of us are Americans. So let's even use specifically how much the immigrants, of course, obviously earn, or a new MBA graduate, how much they earn in the United States. So you obviously get to see various statistics, but we'll probably use what we see here So it says that the average base salary for MBA graduates is $105,000 in 2020. So of course the number dropped from $115,000 in 2019. But the question now is, as at 2020, which was just about 2 years ago, based on the latest statistics, $105,000. Now let's see if we could probably get another one also, just to back up what we've seen. So we can also see that no specific data, but acquiring an MBA in the US obviously gives you a shot at getting high-paying jobs. So what this simply tells you is, of course, if you attend a Make Sense business school and you probably back that up with your quality work experience, you are guaranteed excellent pay when you graduate. Now, like I said before, okay. So, like I mentioned before, we only support candidates that we deem high potential, and high potential in the sense that you must have quality work experience. You must have quality work experience. Your quality and consistent work experience could be your last 3 years of working. You just graduated, you worked consistently for the last 3 years, either at a KPMG or a small audit firm or a medium-sized audit firm or a business where you built a career for yourself. Quality work experience in this instance for a STEM-oriented candidate could be somebody working in technology, somebody working in engineering, somebody working in any of the sciences or health sciences, or somebody working, of course, in the area of mathematics. So let us check out how much do STEM graduates, and of course, in the United States, in this instance, still utilizing obviously the same parameter. So from what we can see now, okay, no, that's specific for MIT. Let's see something generic. Sorry guys, let me just do for the US. Yeah. So if of course you are a STEM oriented graduates, you could probably earn about $73,000 per annum. I can tell you for free, $73,000 per annum. If you earn up to this in the US or Canada, you're what we call a chairman in any of the sciences, in any of the tech-oriented courses, in any of the engineering-oriented courses, and in any of the mathematics-oriented courses. If you earn this much, you can live what I call an above average lifestyle, comfortably, without stress. And the good thing is that what you are seeing is just what we call the average pay. So the average pay means that what you probably might start from in a middle worst case scenario. As you go through the ranks and earn more experience, your pay obviously also gets higher. So imagine starting with this when you graduate, and of course, you rise through the rank as an excellent employee. It means that in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years time, you should be earning way higher than this. In fact, in a recent article that was published by Goldman Sachs says that the average salary it will pay its graduates, fresh graduates, bachelor's degree holders, is about $200,000 per annum. Average pay it will pay its graduates. And for those of us that know Goldman Sachs, you know that Goldman Sachs don't just employ MBA graduates, they also employ people in STEM, because there are a lot of things they do that is also connected to STEM, particularly in technology, engineering, and mathematics. If we all know, of course, Goldman Sachs in the United States, they're one of the biggest investment banking companies in the world. So what this simply tells you, of course, is the fact that when we say we will strictly fund STEM-oriented graduates an MBA-oriented graduate. We know why we've chosen that particular demography, because that demography guarantees return on investments. That if I'm taking this pathway of relocating out of Nigeria or relocating out of Africa, I'll be doing that because I know that quality of opportunities await me upon graduation from school. And that's exactly what, of course, Connexp aims to achieve. So anyone on this platform today with that desire to acquire a global education that guarantees you quality work opportunities, then you are obviously in the right path. And like I mentioned before, because one edu fintech company focused, of course, on the educational sector, we are not a charity organization. So we're taking that risk of investing in you. So it means that the money we give, the $100,000 we give, is a loan. It is a loan. But now the good thing is that the money we're giving to you can also be paid back in 10 years. Can be paid back in 10 years. So you're okay. So the loan, of course, we're providing can be paid back in 10 years. That $100,000 we give to you. Now, the good thing is that that money we give, like I mentioned earlier, pays for your school fees, which of course is what we call tuition in Africa, pays for your cost of living, your accommodation, your feeding, your transportation, anything and everything totally covered, of course, in what we give to you. Your health insurance. You do not want to find yourself abroad without an health insurance. In fact, even in Nigeria, it makes a lot of sense if you have an health insurance. For those of us probably that work with a company that, of course, provides health insurance, you can easily walk into that hospital, get your treatment for free. We know how much of a burden that would be if we just have to pay out of pockets for every time we fall sick. But we also know how interesting and exciting it can be going to an hospital when you have an health insurance. Now, health insurance in Africa is even affordable, very cheap. In the US or Canada and most Western economies, healthcare is very, very expensive. Sickness as simple as malaria can cost you up to $1,000 to treat. So you do not want to find yourself out there without an health insurance. And it made compulsory that every student must have an health insurance. So part of what we pay for on your behalf is your health insurance for either your 1-year education or your 2 years education. Lastly, we also get to pay for your flight tickets from your home country. We get to pay for your flight tickets from your home country. So whether you're flying from Lagos or from Abuja or from Accra or from Entebbe or from Johannesburg or from Pretoria, wherever it is you are flying from across the African continent, we also get to pay for your flight ticket out of the continent. So the one question you guys will ask is, okay, what Connexp? So you've given us the intro. You've spoken about, of course, why you only support MBA candidates or STEM-oriented candidates. That's number one. You've also spoken about the quality opportunities in terms of the earnings and, of course, the rationale behind this category of individuals. How much they earn, what are their potentials when they graduate. You've spoken about that. You've also told us about how much we have access to for either a 1-year program or a 2 years program. Totally fine. I understand all of that. I also understand the fact that, yes, for me, that global education on my CV obviously gives me long-term quality opportunities. Yeah, I totally understand that part. I also understand the fact that, yeah, this opportunity affords me a pathway to relocate, not just for myself, but probably my wife or my husband or my children in this instance, because I aspire to give them quality work, quality opportunities in future. So I totally understand that part. But for Connexp pay, there's a part I'm not clear about yet. You said I can pay back this money you're giving to me in 10 years. Okay, I understand that part. But how exactly does it work? Do I have access to the money in Africa? So will you give me this $100,000 here in Africa? Will you be paying for my visa application? Will you be paying for my school application? Do you guys help us get the admission? I don't understand that part. Then, more importantly, what is the interest on this money you're giving to us? Because you say it's a loan. So I'm imagining there should be an interest on this loan. So what exactly is the interest on the loan? Like Connect pay. You've not really been clear about that. But more importantly, how do I pay back the money? Like you're in Nigeria or Africa, I'll be over there. So how does the payment work exactly? Like where do I begin to pay back? How do I begin to pay back? How can you ensure that I do not run away with your money? That's on that part, on that question. So I totally, of course, understand all of those questions. So for the excess, of course, of breaking down all of this explanation, I'm going to share another, I'm going to share a blank page with you folks now. So that blank page will be where I explain in total, in about 15 minutes, how all of this actually works. So I want to believe that my screen is very clear. Okay. So for the purpose of my explanation, Mandu Edit, I'm going to use you as my example because your video is on and I can see your face from here. So Mandu Edit, I'm going to use you as, of course, the basis of my explanation so that every other person completely gets, of course, what we are saying. So Mandu Edit has a video on so I can see her face on my own screen, just like she can see my face. So I'm going to use Mandu Edit as the basis of our explanation. So Mandu, quickly tell me, let me unmute you. Are you interested in an MBA or a STEM designated master's? Which of the two are you interested in? An MBA or a STEM designated master's? Okay, I'm unmuting you now, so just try to unmute yourself. Okay, so you can answer, Mandu. So an MBA or a STEM designated master's?
MBA.
Okay, an MBA, excellent. So yeah, so Mandu is interested, of course, in pursuing an MBA in the United States. Oh, so let's put it then, an MBA in the United States or Canada. So in this instance, in my mind, I want to imagine that Mandu does Canada more than the US. So we're going to utilize University of Manitoba, which happens to be one of the universities that we support. So it means that if you are collecting our loan to do an MBA in the US or Canada, if you are collecting our loan or our funding to do an MSc in the US or Canada, you can only apply to schools we work with. So it means that there are set of schools our funding specifically applies to. Without, of course, choosing any one of those schools, you will likely not be able to access any of our funding. So she's going to University of Manitoba in the United States. So an MBA in Canada, University of Manitoba. It's a 2 year program. So for 2 years, Mandu obviously would be in Canada undertaking an MBA. Now, do not forget that Mandu is in Nigeria, right? So it means that Mandu needs to start the process from now if Mandu intends to resume in January of 2023, because it's only if she begins the application right now, gets admission, we get to issue our what we call like a support letter that she sends to the school. When the school acknowledges that support letter we give to her, they will then release a CAS to enable her to start up a visa application. Of course, that same support letter we give to her that enable the school release as CAS to prove how she intends, sorry, to fund her education, will be the same paper that she also submits as part of her documentation when she's obviously applying for her visa. That, of course, tells the Canadian Visa Center that Mandu has her funding totally and completely secured. So do not forget, like we said at the beginning, the funding we provide covers for Mandu's tuition, our cost of living, our health insurance, and our flight tickets. Flight ticket is tagged at 3,000 US dollars flat. Wherever you're coming from in Africa or wherever you're going to across the world, we peg our flight ticket at 3,000 US dollars. So in our first year, so let's imagine Mandu school fees for 2 years is 50,000 US dollars. So in our first year, she needs 25,000 US dollars. That's what she needs in her first year. Our cost of living in Canada. Now, please, we calculate our loan utilizing United States dollars. So yeah, just imagine this in Canadian dollars in your mind or heart. Obviously, if we convert the 25,000 US dollars to Canadian dollars, it will probably be about 28,000 or 27,000 US dollars. But we're going to be utilizing United States dollars in this instance because our loans are calculated or monies are calculated in dollars. Very easy for everybody to understand. So our cost of living for 1 year, for her to comfortably live in Manitoba, where of course the university is located, she probably need about 15,000 US dollars. This 15,000 US dollars she needs covers our housing, our feeding, our utility bill, our clothing money, intra-city transportation. If Mandu likes to jaye on Friday nights, inside this $15,000 per annum, Mandu will have to jaye inside this money too. So everything covered, of course, per annum. Mandu's health insurance for 1 year will probably be about, let's say, 3,600 US dollars. 3,600 US dollars per annum. Then, like I mentioned, a flight ticket would be 3,000 US dollars. We calculate flight tickets at 3,000 US dollars for everybody, no matter where they are coming from across the African continent. So in total, let's see what Mandu's first year loan comes to. In total, let's see what our first year loan comes to. So of course, all of us, we can calculate too, just to be sure that, okay, what I'm calculating is actually correct. So 25,000 plus 15,000 plus 3,600 plus 3,000. So that'll be 46,600 USD. 46,600 USD. Now, let me just do something in Naira just to, shake our mind a little. Let's use black market rates. Black market rate is about 700 Naira, right? So let's use black market of 700. So 46,600 times 700. Black market rate, that's about 32 million Naira. Now, if we also use the same figure, 66,600, let's use CBN rate of about 430. That'll be about 20 million. So if we use black market rates, what Mandu needs in 1 year is about 32 million Naira. If we use CBN rate of 430, what Mandu needs is about 20 million Naira. So yeah, difference of about almost 10M. Wow, CBN, you try. So this is what Mandu needs in our first year to successfully take on our MBA program. Now let's look at what she needs in our second year. What she needs in her second year. Remember that Mandu is already in Canada, so she doesn't need flight tickets in her second year. All she needs is we paying her tuition, her cost of living, and her health insurance. So if you minus 3,000 US dollars from this money, that would be about 43,600 US dollars. 43,600 US dollars. So in 2 years, the total finance Mandu got will be 46,000 46,600 plus 43,600. That would be 90,200. So 90,200 US dollars. That is the total amount that she will need in 2 years. So by the time Mandu is graduating in December, around December, November of 2025, let's imagine that Mandu actually left in January of 2023. So by the time Mandu is graduating in December of 2025, 2 years education, Mandu would have collected a total funding assets loan of 90,200 US dollars. Now, remember what I said earlier, that Mandu can pay back our money in 10 years. It's more like we're investing in Mandu's education. But of course, we're not a charity organization. We expect that this money we're investing in Mandu, we should also get some returns on investments on the money. And the major reason we're funding Mandu for an MBA or for a STEM designated program is because Mandu has quality work experience. And we believe that if Mandu backs up that quality work experience with a global education in the United States or Canada, Mandu will be able to earn more and even get better opportunities. So in a way, we're helping Mandu actualize our ambition of living abroad, working with Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 1000 companies, whilst of course we do business from there. So you can call us a mixture of social entrepreneurship and core entrepreneurship. We create impacts and at the same time also make money. And of course, Mandu is happy. Our husband is happy. Our children are also happy. Even our extended family members, our village people are even happy for her. Because like, thank God, though, our village people is progressing, she's making progress, she's doing well. Yes, village people nowadays like us to make progress. It's before village people that not like us to make progress. So everyone, of course, is very happy that Mandu has eventually gotten to that particular place. So the question now is, okay, how exactly will Mandu have access to these 90,000 US dollars? And how exactly does Mandu also pay back this investment that has been made in her career to enable her, of course, qualify for great and make sense opportunities post-graduation? So quick one, remember, like I said, our fully funded programs is not charity. We're not Chevening, we're not Commonwealth, we're not Bill Gates. We're just an African edu fintech company that believes that the easiest pathway for high potential professionals with quality work experience to emigrate is utilizing education as a pathway. And if, of course, your goal of emigrating is to enable you access global opportunities on the back of your quality work experience in Africa, then you are totally and completely in the right place. If your goal, of course, is also access quality opportunities because you want your children to have access to quality opportunities in future, then you are totally, of course, in the right place. So all we've done is we've broken down how Mandu's education in Canada will look like if she's, of course, having access to the loans that we provide for her. So the interest rates per annum on this money we give to Mandu is 11.99%. This funding that we're giving to Mandu, the interest rate is calculated at 11.99% per annum, obviously. And like I said, Mandu can pay back the monies in 10 years post-graduation. 10 years post-graduation. So it means that for the first 2 years, as we fund Mandu is not bothered about paying back the principal on the loan itself. She's only bothered about her education and obviously graduating meritoriously, because graduating meritoriously makes a lot of sense. You are an African. you are Black. You want to ensure that you are inculcating the spirit of excellence from the very first day you step your foot on campus. The excellent career path you have should also reflect in the excellent academic grades you would have, because those two things would guarantee that you get quality work opportunities very fast when you graduate. So as an African, we cannot go there to go and just flex or jaye and forget that we are in a climate society where excellence is rewarded. Come at tops of your class, or top 5% or top 2%, you are guaranteed quality work opportunities. So yes, you might have had a 2-3 year, or a low 2-1, or a first class. It does not mean anything, because in this new climate you are going to, you will need to do excellently well, above and beyond. And those are obviously the kind of candidates we love in Connexp. We love candidates that are high potential, not just in the place of in the workplace, but even in their academic prowess. And it's very key and important that anyone wanting to take this on this process must be willing to do the hard work of reading diligently, the hard work of going through their academics diligently. So, Mandu, let's now imagine that Mandu is resuming our education January 5th. That's the day campus opens. So Mandu is going to leave Nigeria or Accra, Ghana, or Kenya around 1st of January or 31st of December or 30th of December, just to enable her. So we don't give one with the Glen Dodge water, please. So Mandu is obviously expected to resume 5th of January. So she has gotten to the US or Canada, but in this instance, Canada, and yeah, 3 days to or 4 days to a resumption. Before then, Mandu's loan would have been approved. But like I said, Mandu will not have access to the money in Africa at all. Not $1 or $1 will be given to Mandu while she's here. These 46,600 US dollars that Mandu needs in her first year will be paid directly to the school. Directly to the school. So it even means that the initial flight tickets that Mandu needs to purchase to leave, she will need to use either her money or get money from somebody short term, sharp, to enable her move. When she gets to school and registers her presence on campus, the flight ticket money and her upkeep money for the first month will be paid directly into Mandu's account. Of course, when Mandu gets there, she needs to go and register for social security number and also open a bank account. All of this can be done within a day. It's not Nigeria where you can use like 5 years to do all of these things. So within 2-3 days or a week after Mandu has been on campus, Mandu can actually have access to our funding, because we've seen cases where once a student gets visa, and the school certifies certifies the fact that yes, we are once funding you, they tell us to immediately disburse money to them. So that once you land on campus, they can begin immediately to disburse your monies to you. So of course, they will deduct their tuition and their health insurance. What is left for you is your cost of living and your initial flight ticket, which is reimbursed. Your cost of living, 15,000 US dollars, will not be given to you directly, Mandu. No, it will give you 15,000 US dollars. Mandu can say, I don't land, make I go flex this money finish within 1 month. So no, Mandu. To help the both of us, the school will be releasing your money on a monthly basis to you. So that 15,000 US dollars will be divided into 12 months. So from January, February, March, April, down to December, they release the money on a monthly basis. And of course, every month you need to go and sign in your international office that, oh yeah, guys, I'm still here, or I'm still on campus, so I'm still studying, or I'm very good at my work, or just as supposed to verify that you are still in school. And like I said, academic excellence is very important. But even before academic excellence is professional excellence. We only fund candidates that we deem high potential. And how do we deem you high potential? By your work history, your work experience, your consistent work experience. That's the only way we deem you high potential. That's the only way we can really judge and know if someone like this, we find it very easy getting quality jobs when he graduates. So, Mandu, because you are going to Canada for the first time, because you'll be living in Canada for the first time, you do not have what we call a credit history in the US or Canada. And trust me, a credit history in the US or Canada is very, very important if you're going to get access to the Canadian financial economy. In fact, to rent a house in US or Canada, in Nigeria or Africa, we can just rent the house of any landlord. The only thing they want to verify is that you have a job, you're a responsible person, you will not owe them money. But over there, they do not judge you by what you say. Oh, it's your credit history that determines if you can rent a house. So when you graduate and you're no longer living on campus or living in student-provided accommodation within the university, within the city where the university is located, you will now discover that in the US and Canada, you can only rent a house when you have a credit history. So the question you ask me now is that, okay, but through Connexp, how am I meant to have a credit history when I'm a student? I just came into Canada or the US. I don't know anyone. I've not really collected any loan from the US economy. Now that's where you're fortunate. Because we're a US registered financial body. And of course, you'll be paying the money directly to the bank we partner with in the US and Canada. We mandate that all students that we disburse our loan to service the interest on the loan given to them so far. So let me break that down in a simple way. So it means that, Mandu, in your first year, we're not going to give you the total money you need for your 2 years. We're going to give you what you need per annum. So in your first year, we're going to give you $46,400 US. In your first year, $46,600 US. That's what we're going to give to you in your first year. Because why? You cannot take the entire money you don't need for your 2 years. So the interest you would pay in your first year, just interest though, will be on the $46,600 US to enable you build your credit history and to also build your credit worthiness. So another question that Mandu might begin to wonder is, okay, for Connexp, if I'm made to service the interest on the loan given to me so far, how am I going to get extra money to do this? Looking at the fact that you folks are the ones paying all of my monies. You guys are practically the ones giving me the money I need to survive in this country. So yes, Mandu, as a student, you are allowed to work for up to 20 hours every week. On campus, every university has opportunities for students, and you can earn up to $1,000 US monthly. Now, this is extra information. Mandu might be lucky that our MBA classes will only be running in the evening. So it means that Mandu will need to go to classes only in the evenings. So what it means is that Mandu can work from morning to 4 or 5 p.m. and she can probably do a job or two in the day. Then in the evening, she goes for her classes. So if Mandu does 1 or 2 jobs and combines the pay, of course, there won't be white-collar jobs. They will mostly be blue-collar jobs. But the good thing is that you are not under pressure to survive. You're not under pressure to pay for anything. You are strictly earning just enough to enable you service the interest on the loan you've collected so far, to enable you build up your credit history. So the question will now be that, okay, Elder, what exactly is the calculation on this loan that Mandu has collected? So let's do that calculation for the benefit of everyone. So in her first year, remember, she's collecting $46,600 US. So times 11.99%, which is the interest per annum, divided by 100. So that'll be 5,587 US dollars. So let's just say approximately 5,600 US dollars, just for easy calculation, approximately 5,600 US dollars. Or let's just use this figure. They will not divide this figure by 12. So on a monthly basis, Mandu will need to be paying 466 US dollars. 466 US dollars on a monthly basis. 466 US dollars on a monthly basis. 466 USD. Interest per month in our first year. Now remember, Mandu is only servicing the interest on the loan. No, she's not paying back our money at all. No. It's just the interest she's servicing. So in a second year, we want to add the second 43,600 US dollars. Everything now comes to 90,200 US dollars. So in a second year, she will not need to be servicing the interest on the 90,200 US dollars. So if you do the same thing, $90,200 times 11.99 divided by 100. So in a second year, Mandu will need to be paying monthly 901 US dollars. 901 US dollars. 901 USD monthly in a second year. Interest just to service the loan, to enable her build up our credit history. Simple. So let's do some data analysis to know how much can Mandu earn as an MBA graduate. So how much can Mandu earn as an MBA graduate in Canada? So let's use data to find out how much Mandu can earn. So let's check it out. So it says, according to PayScale and Glassdoor, for many of us that know Glassdoor, they're like the global platform for either knowing salaries, job opportunity, and the like. So the average salary for holders of an MBA degree in the country is about 83,000 US dollars, or a range of 80 to 90,000 US dollars. A range of between 80 to 90,000 US dollars. So let's say about, converted to US dollars, let's use about 70,000 US dollars converted to US dollars. We already did the research for US. For the US, an average MBA graduate is about 105. We saw 105 before. Now I see 137. For Canada, if you're in Canada as an MBA graduate, you can probably earn about 70,000, 80,000 US dollars. Sorry, and US dollars, of course. In Canadian dollars, that would probably be 90,000 US dollars. So let's say on average that Mandu earns about 80,000 US dollars per annum. 80,000 US dollars per annum. So Mandu graduates and earns 80,000 USD per annum. So that's what Mandu earns per annum, 80,000 USD. So now let's divide 80,000 by 12. Let's know what Mandu earns on a monthly basis. So 80,000 divided by 12. So that's about 666. So let's just say 6,700 US dollars. Let's just say 6,700 US dollars. That's what Mandu earns on a monthly basis. So this is the figure here when you divide 80,000 by 12. But let's now use 6,700 US dollars for easy calculation. 6,700 US dollars. So that's the amount that she earns per month. 6,700 USD salary per month. Now, the average tax rates in countries like US or Canada is usually about 25% of your salary. The average tax rate, like your personal income tax, is usually about 25 to 30%. So let's use 25% in this instance. So as Mandu, of course, it's earning $6,700 US. 25% of our salary is going to tax. Remember that these countries, you are seeing the benefit of your tax that you are paying. So it's not like I see you are paying taxes and just enjoying government largesse. No, no, no. You pay taxes and you see the benefits and impact of the tax that you are paying. So 6,700 times 25% divided by 100. So that'll be 1,675 USD. 1,675 USD, just to verify. So you can see the 1,675 USD. So that's the tax rate that she pays. So 1,675 USD tax rates monthly. And remember, it's from our salary. So remember, leaders, that already Mandu is owing us 901 USD. The interest rate that Mandu paid in her first year, sorry, in her second year, when she was studying, will be the same interest rate Mandu will be paying in the first year of our loan. In the first year of our loan. But I'm going to explain something to us that is exciting. So let's imagine that Mandu owes us 90,200 US dollars. Mandu can pay back this loan. Remember, in 10 years. So it means that in 120 months, Mandu can pay us our money. So, of course, that's 10 years. So let us divide 90,200 by 120. 90,200 divided by 120. So that will be 752 USD. 752 USD. 752 USD. That's the principal. 752 USD. So 901 is the interest. Then 752 USD is the principal that she pays. So it means that in total, Mandu will be paying 901 plus 752. So that's 1,653 USD. 1,653 USD. So now let's calculate the total liability that Mandu has, even before she spends anything else. Total liability, as Mandu like this is earning a salary, I haven't gotten a job with a Microsoft or a Google or a JP Morgan or a Bank of America. 1,653, which is a liability, a debt that she owes, plus a tax rate, which is 1,675. So that would be 3,328. 3,328 USD liability. So let's minus this now from 6,700, which is a monthly salary. So the change that should be left to be 3,372. 3,372. So that's like half of a salary. So 3,372 USD. So this is the change that is left of a salary, at least in the first year post-graduation, first 1 or 2 years post-graduation, if she's earning 6,700 USD. Now let me say this. The loan, the repayment is on reducing balance. It's on reducing balance. So it means that that interest rate of 901 USD that Mandu is paying in her first month of the loan. By the time she pays a portion of her loan and a portion of her interest, by the second month, her interest would have reduced a little. I don't know if you understand that English. So let me explain it in a way that we understand again. So let's imagine now that Mando is owing $90,200. That's the principal she's owing. So in the first month, Mando pays a portion of the principal, which is 752 USD. So what to simply do is, we'll now minus 90. Sorry guys, please just 1 minute. Let me change over. So 90,200 minus 572. So it means that in a second month, that 11.99% will now be calculated. The entirety of our loan will now be, the interest will now be calculated on this figure. So that's what we call reducing balance in finance term. Reducing balance in finance term. So it means that the interest rate is not fixed at just that amount she pays per annum. No. As it goes down, that's how the interest rate calculation also goes down. All of these are completely automated. So you'll be able to monitor it on your dashboard as you're paying back. And obviously, if you decide that you want to pay back the loan in 2 years, in 3 years, in 5 years, or in 1 year, totally allowed. In fact, as a smart African or Nigerian, you can even decide that in my second year, I want to get a scholarship. So you begin to offer scholarship from everywhere and anywhere. So that in the second year, you do not even need to take the second loan. That is totally allowed and possible. First year, let me use you guys and go. When I get there, I will look for scholarship and funding to reduce my liabilities. Totally fine. If you also decide that I want to pay back the money in 5 years, I'm anywhere, I want to pay back in less than 10 years, you are totally allowed to. And you only service pay the interest for the number of years our loan was with you. There is no penalty for paying early or on time. Reducing balance, can pay back in less than 10 years. You can even decide that I don't take your loan in the second year. You can even pay back the loan in 1 year. If it's possible, maybe you hit a jackpot somewhere. Very, very doable. So the first step, obviously, everyone here might ask is, okay, Elder, now that you've explained all of this, what are the next steps? What is the next thing we're meant to do? Where do we move from here? Like I earlier mentioned, we have specific set of schools we work with for MBA and for STEM designated programs. So it means that if you're coming to access our funding, you have to be applying to those schools. Fortunately, there are schools we work with that do not mandate GMAT, GRE, IELTS, TOEFL, and all those plenty exams that just makes life very difficult for us as Africans and Nigerians. So we can recommend those schools to you. Not because, of course, you're not supposed to do your research. You can obviously do your research. Some of you already have a school you want to go to. So if that school happens to be one of our partner schools, you can apply to it. But to make our lives very easy, if you think that, oh, I do not have the time to do the research, we, Connexp, can recommend schools to you that you apply to. And if your goal is to resume in January of 2023, then this is the time to get started. If you're an HND graduate or a 2-2 graduate, but of course you have quality work experience, we will encourage you to focus on the US alone. But if you're a 2-1 graduate, a first-class graduate, a BSc holder, yes, you can focus on Canada because Canada admits generally only 2-1 graduates and first-class graduates. Even if you're an HND first-class graduates, just focus on the US. The US is more inclined to admit HND graduates, 2-2 graduates, and of course, 2-1 and first-class graduates. But like we said at the beginning, the major factor we look at is a factor of high potential. And the only way we know that you're high potential is by your work experience. It has to be consistent. It has to be progressive. It doesn't matter if you work with a small business. So long as you have a consistent career path, we will be very happy to fund you and guide you through this pathway. So some of you might wonder, but Elder, there are a lot of challenges with getting a visa to the US. Dates are not just available. I can tell you guys for free, we have a lot of back channeling in helping candidates get visa dates. Of course, we don't influence visa dates. We don't help people get early visa dates. We just help to back channel people that, okay, if I request for an emergency visa approval, you can maybe get that approval, of course, sorted out. In our case, you don't need to pay any money to your school. Once our support letter gets to your school will know that this particular candidate is actually from us, and they will issue you your visa documentation to enable you apply, of course, for your visa. Connexp will get to guide you, like I said, for your STEM-oriented programs, for your MBA-oriented programs, whichever one you want to go to. You want to go for a business course, you want to go for a tech course, a science course, a science health course, an engineering program, a mathematics course, whatever it is, we will be very, very happy to fund your education. The first step you might ask is, what do we do? Where do we go from here? The first step, joining the Connexp Japa network. Joining the Connexp Japa network. If you join the Connexp Japa network, part of the benefits you get is the free counseling and advice we give to all of our candidates. Advice on how to go about your school application, advice on how to go about your loan application. In fact, we will help you apply for the loan just to remove the error that might occur. More importantly, every Wednesday, we do this mentoring session where we teach, train, and groom candidates on how to be successful at their visa interviews. This advice we've given, I've seen us successfully taking candidates through the process, from their school application to their loan application to their visa application, and eventually getting that visa. I can tell you for free, like I said, we do not influence admission. We believe that a candidate that applies to a school, if you apply on the strength of your work experience and the pedigree of your high potentialness, trust me, getting an admission is very easy to the US or Canada. You just have to be an high potential candidate. You have to bring something different to the table. And we are very particular about the quality of our candidates. If you are desperate, if you are frustrated, this country don't tire you, well, obviously not the kind of platform you want to come on. Because the mental work that we require from you. Sorry guys, just 1 minute. So the question is, what does it take to join the Connexp Japa network? Well, of course, you have exclusive access to our mentoring. A manager from Connexp is assigned to you to guide you through the process. And of course, if there are any issues or challenges that pops up from this entire process, Connexp will also be there to help see how we can navigate any of those challenges that might pop up. If your goal is to resume in January of 2023, then you obviously want to take that first step in joining the Connexp Japa network today. To join is very simple, 22K, simple registration fee. You're not applying to our platform because you're not paying your membership fee because you want to apply for a loan or because you want to apply to a school. No. You simply join that network because just like all of you are here today, we have about 800 plus of you on our platform. And of course, we have people spread across the African continent. So our goal is to ensure that we take you through this process successfully through the mentoring, through the guidance, and through ensuring that even when you graduated from school, even when, of course, you've gotten your admission and you've resumed on campus, we'll continue to mentor, nurture, and guide you until you get that high potential job that guarantees you a good life and, of course, enable you to pay back our loan seamlessly. That 22K you pay is one-off. After that money, you don't pay anything else to Connexp pay. The only money you get to pay is your application fee money, and you pay that to your school. Of course, once you've gotten your admission, you've gotten your visa documentation, you then apply for your visa on your own. We still get to guide you on how to apply for your visa, obviously. I also get to groom you. Every Wednesday, members of the Japa network also have access to our exclusive mentoring program that ensures you can be successful at your visa interview. We all know how visas can be very unpredictable in Nigeria. We know how it is. So all of the lessons that we've gathered over the years is what we use in guiding our candidates to become successful at their visa interview. So the first step, like I said, is becoming a member of the Connexp Japa network. So I believe that my colleagues are dropping links via which you can. Yes, the meeting is obviously being recorded. So I'm going to share the link back on the WhatsApp group after we are done. So please, if you have any question, please, you can just raise up your hand. Can NYSC serve as work experience? So Joshua, honestly, it's not just about NYSC. It's about what did the person do, during their NYSC. If you probably worked with, like a reputable company or a reputable firm, you probably went on an internship whilst you were a student, then all of those things can count as work experience. But of course, we do not discountenance the fact that you might have had some internship experience. Depending on what you did during your NYSC experience, we can decide if that, of course, serves as credible work experience. The main thing is going for a STEM MSc or an MBA that aligns with the career path you want to build. That for us is very important. We don't just fund people because you want to go for a master's abroad. No. You have to go for a master's for courses, of course, that are commercially relevant, which, of course, is what we're doing here today. But more importantly, that aligns with your work experience. So, of course, like I mentioned before, Canada, unfortunately, they do not recognize HND as a bachelor's degree. Unfortunately, Canada, they do not recognize HND as bachelor's degree. So if you take your HND to Canada and you want to do a direct master's, your master's will be converted to 3-year diploma, not even a BSc degree, 3-year diploma program. That's how they interpret our HNDs too. So, but the US is flexible when you have quality work experience. Unless, of course, as an HND graduate, you want to go and do a 2-year BSc, but it doesn't make any sense really to go and do a 2-year BSc at that level. It doesn't all go well when you have 17 or 13 or 15 or 10 years work experience. So it does make sense that with your HND background, just go for a direct MBA in the United States. Our minimum years of working experience is usually 3 years. 3 years. Once you have 3 years work experience and above, you're totally fine. Okay, so I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to point out people that are asking questions. Let me just answer the questions in the comments. What are the business schools available for this program on your platform? What's going on? Okay, Kende. So I think I've answered your question, Kende, about the fact that there are specific schools in the US and Canada. Yeah, business schools work with in the so totally dependent on you. You can try to work with any of those ones, or we can recommend schools to you based on, of course, schools that do not mandate GRE, IELTS, and all those flexibility requirements. It is very available for. So Daniel, the focus of this webinar for today is strictly for US and Canadian schools. Strictly for US and Canadian schools. Precious, I believe I've answered your question. Okay, someone has answered your question on the meaning of STEM. Unfortunately, no, we do not fund humanities. If you are joined that WhatsApp group, you will see that it's strictly meant for MBA and STEM designated people. We do not do for humanities at all. What about a STEM on management science? Okay, Daniel, I didn't understand your question. So Jeremiah, you are qualified for an MBA if you have quality work experience. That's as an HND graduate, you can go for an MBA on the back of your quality work experience, on the back of your quality work experience. Yes, so as an HND graduate, on the back of your quality, that's how you petition for the fact that, man, guys, I am qualified. I want to come for an MBA. Look at my work history and look at what I aspire to do. How does this include family? Jonathan, very simple. What we advise couples to do is, if you have yourself and your wife, of course, wanting to, take this as your pathway to emigrate, so long as the husband and wife are educated, we advise that couples should go together. We advise that couples should go together. But of course, you're going to be going this process independently. So it means that you apply for your school independently, your loan independently. You also get to apply for your visa independently. So once you've gotten your visas, it's not easy for you to petition for your one child or your two children, of course, to join you. But the easiest pathway is when the husband and the wife are going through education. So on our platform, we have quite a number of couples on our platform. In fact, we have quite a number of couples that even have their visa interview on the same day, but they're just interviewing separately, not together. On the same day, but they're interviewing separately. They've done this process totally independently, but they're going to the same school. Fortunately, the same school that they chose as the course both of them want to go for, which aligns with their career paths. So how can you pay interest full when you have paid for the first year already? So Daniel, like I said, you are paying interest for your first year, and of course your second year of education. Remember, you're not paying the principal, you are strictly paying only the interest. So it means that even when you have serviced your interest in your first year, you're still owing us money. You're not paid back your principal at all. It's when you graduate that your loan begins to count on reducing balance. Okay, so let me just see more questions here. STEM on occupational. So Joseph, there's a list of STEM designated courses that we dropped on the STEM group. I don't know if you belong to that particular group, Joseph. So Okwemi, please, can we open the WhatsApp groups for the two groups? Let's open the WhatsApp groups for the two groups. So Joseph, there's a list of STEM designated courses we support. We listed it in the BC you would have gotten that made you join that group. So if you check that list, if you see occupational safety and health on that list, then you obviously know that's a STEM designated program. We're not the ones that designate the programs. Those programs are designated by the Department of Homeland Security. They are the guys in charge of visa, and of course, who can stay after 2 or 3 years in the US to enable you qualify, of course, for that post 3 years experience to enable you get work permits. So if your program, this course you are saying, occupational safety and health, if it is listed there, okay, my colleague have told the link already. Any course listed on that link, I can tell you for free, is STEM designated, and their courses would support. Oh, of course, Tolu, an MSc is called STEM. That's why it's called STEM. STEM is MSc. So when we talk of STEM, what we're talking about is an MSc, obviously, an MSc. That's what we call STEM. I have a biochemistry 2-2 with the lower division. Yes, Precious, your biochemistry 2-2 can get you an admission in the US. But like I said, it's not just about having a biochemistry background. Has your work experience so far been in line in the biochemistry ecosystem? So that's where you know that is exactly what you are doing. So I say, are there any charges beyond? Not at all. You can quote me whatever, you can quote me wherever it is from today. My name is Elder. Once you pay your membership fee to join our Japa network, that of course allows us assign a manager to you and also guide you through this process. You do not pay anything to Connexp anymore. We have over 800 candidates just like yourself on our platform at the moment. So you don't pay anything again. Our people in USA, of course, Ashley, in fact, Ashley, people that are in the US and Canada are just like our fastest candidates so far, because those ones, there's no too much stress. You're already in the US, you're already in Canada. Once their loans are approved, we disburse immediately to their school. So we've had candidates from Africa that their family members told them about us. And of course, their process is very seamless because their own hustle of getting the visa or getting visa dates, they've already done that on their own. So they get their loan approved and disbursed easily. So if you have family members, people in registration, yes, you can totally do that. So he said, please place the courses on the WhatsApp group again. So please, Okwemi, let's open the WhatsApp groups and let's also share these STEM designated courses on that WhatsApp group. What of those of us that have an MSc already? Oh, Joseph Johnson, if you have an MSc already and you obviously want to utilize this as your pathway to emigrate, then you might not want to say you have an MSc in applying. Just apply like that, unless you have a 2-2 and you really want to study in Canada. Then obviously, it makes sense to add your MSc and go and apply for Canadian schools. But if you have a first class or a 2-1, you don't really want to put the fact that you have an MSc there. It might act as it's advanced for school, like, but you have an MSc. Why are you coming to apply for us like another MSc again? But of course, if you have a 2-2 and you want to go to Canada, then of course attaching the MSc makes a lot of sense, because it just gives you that, you know, like edge in applying straight to Canadian schools. Courses on the group, please. So Rodiat, if you have a third class in microbiology and your work experience, like you have quality work experience working in the microbiology ecosystem, maybe like working in a lab or a food production company, yes, you can apply with your third class. There are schools in the US who partner with that accept third class and very low 2-2 candidates and even HND candidates. So, but now, like I said, we don't influence admission. We'll give you the schools, we'll suggest those schools to you. It's not going to now pick them and pitch yourself to the school. That's what, because we've seen schools that we wrote to, like, you know, we tell them that, see guys, we have quality candidates with quality work experience, but they don't have a first class or a 2-1. You know, things just happen in their younger years. They didn't really graduate well. But yeah, they have quality work experience. They've been able to pick up themselves after their first degree. Can those guys apply? These schools tell us that yes, that they look beyond your degree and also look at your professional pedigree and other stuff you've done outside of the workplace. So it is very possible for you to apply with a third class, but only, of course, to US schools. And like I said, there are just specific schools will suggest to you. So by the time you write to 10 schools, pitching and selling yourself, there is probably no way 1 or 2 or 3 wouldn't tell you to submit an application so that it can be considered. So Johnson, I guess I've answered your question. So Precious, you said, if I don't have 22K now, what can I still pay, like pay small and join later? So Precious, if you do not have 22K now and you're a first class graduate or a 2-1 graduate or a BSc graduate, you can pay what we call small, and of course you balance the remaining later. If you are an HND graduate or a third class graduate or a low 2-2 graduate, you get to pay a certain amount of small money and can balance, of course, the remaining in 6 weeks, or let's say 2 installments of 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But obviously, if you're interested in that, you can just click. Please, Okwemi, can we drop the link, the WhatsApp link? I'm not in the WhatsApp link, so that anyone that wants to chat us can just chat us on that WhatsApp link. So yeah, Precious, you cannot pay later, but you can actually pay small and join in. Then Joshua, you're saying after paying the 22K, then no, Joshua, you are not paying the 22K to determine if you're eligible. We can't, like I said before, you're not paying to apply for your loan. We've already given you the terms and conditions in terms of what to look out for. So you're the one that will decide for yourself, okay, with everything Elder have explained so far, I think I fit the requirement and I'm willing to go ahead. So once you pay, you're not paying to determine if you are eligible for the loan. No, you don't pay us to apply for your loan. So you don't pay us because you want to access a loan. You strictly pay us for the guidance and the mentoring and the nurturing we provide, not just for you, but for every other candidate that we're currently working with and that we've worked with in the past, and that, of course, that we intend to work with in future. So the 22K you're paying is to join that exclusive network, so they get access to quality information. If you also need a school to apply to that does not require GMA, GRE, we can even suggest those schools to you based on the fact that, man, we work with them. So you're not going to pay your money to determine your eligibility. On your own, based on what I've said, you should know, okay, everything they've said, I look like that kind of candidate that you should work with. So I pay my money, I join, a manager is allotted to you, we help you apply for your loan. Then that manager will guide you in your school application. Once you've gotten your admission, we'll then move you to our second WhatsApp group for admitted candidates, where we'll now guide you again in your visa application. So, of course, until you've gotten your visa and you resume in the US or Canada, depending on, of course, where you want to go to. So I have a 2-2 in environmental science and I have 13 years working experience in bottling company. Ayodele, that's a very make sense work experience now. Very make sense work experience. My colleagues have dropped the list of STEM designated programs to support. I am very sure that you will find a program that is similar to your work experience. That you know that when I study this course, I am guaranteed 3 years postgraduate work opportunities. Within 3 years, it is enough time, more than enough time to get work permits. Because the company you're working with, or one of the companies I worked with, will obviously seek a work permit for you because they see you as a valuable employee. So that thing has made you work. And now, see, the good thing is that you're working with Nigerian bottling company. We both know that this company is Coca-Cola and it's a global company. So you're even going to be working, you're already working in a sector that is globally known. So imagine your masters with your work experience. You now apply to Coca-Cola company abroad or an American bottling company abroad. You obviously not find it difficult getting a job because of where you're coming from. So that's exactly the kind of things we always look out for. What is the potential of this person to get opportunities? But even you on your own, you would know. Because if you believe so much in your work experience, then of course you will know that with my work experience and my master's abroad, I can get quality work opportunities too. So maybe we started our questions fully in January of this year. So we've been existing for 8 months. Put it that way, 8 months. But of course, the funding that we give, the funding doesn't come from Nigeria. The funding doesn't come from South Africa. It doesn't come from Ghana. The funding is domiciled in the US and Canada. So it means that we have a bank partner that provides the loan. We're just like that African company that has seen an opportunity that we know Africans that are high potential want to study out there. But of course, maybe you cannot go and meet a bank in the US directly. They'll try to bring cosign or collateral, this, that. So you coming through us is we removing all of those plenty roadblocks to ensure that you can access funding. So we're the ones that know how we do our relationship with them. Whilst of course we service you. And of course, it's called patient capital too. So it means that we're willing to do that 10 years to enable you, of course, achieve your goal, whilst we also achieve our goal of creating impact, and at the same time also making money from that. Okay, so Precious, I think my colleagues have dropped our WhatsApp link. So they've dropped the WhatsApp link that you can chat us with. So Temidayo, even if you have a PGD, honestly, like I said before, Canada can be quite annoying when it comes to their strict requirements. Your HNDO, your PGDO, like I'm not telling you based on yes, I'm telling you based on what we've seen so far with our candidates trying to apply to Canada with their HND and PGD. They see that they don't recognize it. But Temidayo, there's nothing wrong in trying. So let me not say never. There's nothing wrong in trying. The ones that tried did not try to all the schools to work with. They looked at 1 or 2 schools that said no. So if you decide to do the hard work of, let me even write to all of them, and let me see the one that will be willing to give me a shot, why not Temidayo? Yes, what the school might say you should do is to do a West valuation of your HND and your PGD. That's the worst case scenario. They will say, okay, go and do a West valuation of your HND and your PGD. So if they do that West valuation, they can now take it to mean that with your West valuation, your PGD and HND equals to a 4-year program. But just as HND, what they interpret it by Canadian standard is 3 years. It's only the US that is willing to admit you directly with HND because they know that HND in Africa or Nigeria means 4-year BSc on the back of your quality work experience. So I have admission for computer networking diploma in Canada. Can I get the loan? Rita, unfortunately, this focus of this webinar is strictly for MSc. So it means either you're going for a master's or you're going for an MSc. So not a diploma program. And obviously, I don't know why you're probably going for a diploma. Maybe you're an HND holder or a third class graduate. If you're any one of the two, if you want to focus on the US, computer science, I can tell you for free. We will gladly and happily fund you for the US. Does your team assist in packaging applications to the schools, guidance to ensure that admissions are given? So like I said, ID, we are not responsible for admission. We do not influence admission. But yes, we can guide you. For example, we have a template on how to write an SOP. We have a template on how we think you package your LinkedIn profile and your resume. We can guide you, but we do not take responsibility for school application. Where we come in is in the money aspects. The money, that's where we come in, the money aspects. So I get the price. How much is it? 22,000 naira. If I have BSc in banking and finance, but I said it is on my own. Of course, Young, that's a straight up MBA, nothing to you. Straight up MBA. Can you go schools that do not require? Actually, Joseph, if I begin to post the schools to you, then the service what to offer, you don't have to finish with that, man. So we can give you those schools when you become a member of the Japa network. That's why, of course, we tell people to join our network to access those benefits. So once, of course, you join the network, we can suggest schools to you. It's not going to do your research on them and decide which of them you want to go for. But obviously, you have to be a member of the network first before we decide that. Oh, yes, love it. I have a 2-1 in both me, but my life has been in the finance sector. Love it. I can tell you for free, man. Your MBA is what makes sense. MBA finance, excellence. We do not look at your face. See, your bachelor's degree in our eye is not what matters. What matters is your work experience. That's why we're specific on the title of the program. Your first degree means nothing to us. What matters is your work experience. Because we're not going to fund you if you want to go for a course that you have no work history or experience in. We're going to be hurting you and hurting ourselves in the long run. Ademola, I already explained that in the explanation, so that might probably be taking me a little back. But Ademola, I can totally assure you that if you're on the WhatsApp group, we're going to reshare the link to the webinar that is located on Zoom, on YouTube, to enable you to watch again. Please leave the MBA program for HND graduates. Okay, so Stephen, like I said before, you will need to join the Japa network first. For us, of course, give you the schools that specifically we work with. Now, we have the general list of schools we work with. My colleagues can drop that list, general list of schools. But obviously, there are like almost 800 of them. It's going to be difficult to be going through 800 lists. So there are specific schools we know that can admit you, that do not require GMA, GRE. So if you need those schools, you need to be a member of our Japa network for us to recommend those schools to you. So it's, basically joining the network first. So George, I guess you've answered your question with my answer I already gave. Ironically, George, if you are going for an MSc in this very thing you said, this interactive media is actually a STEM designated program on the list, on our list. So for a direct MSc, would even fund you for this program in the US? Ademola, I think I've answered your question. Quite difficult for me to answer that question here. I've already explained how it works. But if you're listening, like to catch up on what we explained before, you would obviously want to watch the video again. We'll drop the link on the WhatsApp group after this webinar. I have a strong 2-1 and 5 years in the financial sector. Yes, Stephen Olakunle, you are totally eligible for the MBA. Like I said before, your work experience is what matters to us. Your work experience matters to us. So, Joseph, yes, you can pay instrumentally. Like I said before, if you're a 2-1 graduate or a first-class graduate, a BSc graduate, you can pay 6.5 now, and you balance the remaining in 4 weeks, which is 2 weeks, 2 weeks. If you're an HND graduate or a third-class graduate or a 2-2 graduate, you get to pay 12K now. Then you balance the remaining in 2 weeks also. But of course, there are extra fees attached to paying like a small. But if you want to pay off just upfront once, 22K. And of course, if you are paying 12K or 6.5, we're going to do what we call like a KYC on you. That KYC is like we get to verify your identity and also get to check your credit worthiness. So it means the form we give to you to fill, we're also going to have to require to fill in your BVN just to enable us to check your credit worthiness. So what if the person applied to your school is not related to Chukwuwike Achi? So unfortunately, if you apply to a school we do not partner with, you will need to restart your application all over again and apply to a school we partner with. Our loans are only applicable to schools we partner with. Oh, ID, we're going to share that after we're done with the webinar, not now. Is there any amount the school that does not charge tuition as much as what you put? Any country 1 year? Of course, Japa, there are schools with 1 year MBA in the US. And see, the amount I give is just an example though. We have MBA programs that is just $50,000 US 1 year. Like just 50K. I done. So not the cheapest MBA, but it's a quality MBA program in the US. So that amount I quoted is just an example. You can actually go for an amount that is way less than that amount. It's not by force to go for everything. You can say that this is what I want. The remaining one I cover myself. Or I've gotten partial scholarship, so I also the balance. It's totally allowed and totally fine. So yeah, Chukwu Wike, it makes a lot of sense. With your tutu, you can go for an MSc, a STEM physics in the US. Yeah, we're going to call on people that raise up their hands. I will do that very soon. What if I don't have 3 years work experience, but I got a 2 in architecture? Cecilia, yes, you're totally, like I said, part of what to count as work experience, your NYSC, internship, totally fine. So long as the course you are going for is consistent with what you want to do in the long run, you are totally qualified. And of course, if the course you want to go for is STEM designated, a STEM designated program. So if architecture is STEM designated or anything you want to study is STEM designated, totally fine. We have the list of STEM designated courses too that we've shared. Yes, Mabel, if you have an HND and you want to switch and maybe like do a 2-year BSc in Canada with your HND degree, you're totally fine. You will start from 300 level and finish your 400 level. So we'll fund the last 2 years. So the same way we calculated the loan for masters is the same way it works for BSc. So that's totally fine. So this is just open information for others too. If you know you are open to the idea of using your HND to go and do a 2-year BSc, which is 300 level and 400 level in Canada with your HND, you are totally allowed to do so. We'll fund you also for that 2 years program. So David Adedeji would encourage you with your tutu to go to US. Would encourage you with your tutu to go to the US. If you do a 2 years masters or 1 year masters in engineering in the US, you're going to have 3 years postgraduate work opportunities automatically. 3 years is more than enough time for you to get work permits. One of those companies will sponsor your work permits. So my advice would be that with your tutu, don't go and waste it on a diploma. Just go and do straight, man, a master's in the US. If your long-term goal is to transfer to the US, Baba, once you already have OPT in US, you can easily move to Canada now. Especially when you have a Canadian, when you already have an American education, very easy to move to Canada. Very easy. In fact, it's very, very easy to switch. Once you already have work permits in the US, so that OPT, you can easily move to Canada. Because these countries operate a system. So trust me, man, go for a direct master's. It makes a lot of sense. Looking at your background. Okay, so let me call. Yes, so that's very possible. You studied microbiology, you want to do an MSc supply chain. In fact, we support candidates that want to go for an MSc supply chain. So long as it's consistent with your work experience, it is totally doable, very, very doable. Like I said before, what matters on our platform is work experience. So please, if you have a question you want to ask, you could just raise up your hand. You could just raise up your hand for just about 5 minutes. So of course, once you pay your 22K, the next thing is we add it to our WhatsApp group. We assign the manager to you. We agree on the school you want to go to, because in this case, we know clearly what we're doing. Either you're going for an MBA or you're going for a STEM master's. So once you agree on the school, if you're going for an MBA, it's a straightforward thing. The major thing we'll be bothered about is just getting you to school. If you're going for a STEM, we have to agree on the course and the school you are going to. Once you get all of those details, we, my colleagues, the manager assigned to you, we help you apply for your loan. Then we also get to guide you in your school application. Within a month, an admission should have come forth, or less than a month. For MBA, in fact, MBA candidates, admission even coming faster because it's straightforward. Good work experience, good business experience, they will admit you easily. It's usually the STEM that can take a little while, maybe like a month or 6 weeks. But once you've gotten your admission, we'll now move to the next stage, your visa stage. So within a month or two from today, your loan is approved, admission is gotten. We're not talking about visa and counting down, of course, to your visa date or getting your visa feedback and moving out of Nigeria. So please, if you have a question, you can just raise up your hand. So Benjamin, if your experience has mostly been in supply chain, in fact, I can even tell you for free that there's a school in the US that actually does an MBA with a focus on supply chain. So I'm even giving you 2 in 1, Benjamin. There's a school in the US that does an MBA with a focus on supply chain. They specialize in supply chain MBA. So this one I even say MBA, MSc, or MSc or MBA. Baba, you can even do a direct MBA with a focus on supply chain. Like I said, Johnson, we only work with schools that do not mandate IELTS, GRE, TOEFL, GMAT, and all of those exams. Precious, by the time we're asking you a question and we tell you to send us your CV, we will know whether you have work experience or not now. We will know. So it's not like as if you will just come and tell us what you have. No, we will know. There's no age limits, David. Our age limit is usually 50 years old. So you are 40 years old, you are totally within our purview. Joseph, if you're interested in January 2023, my advice is start now. Start today. So that we'll get you started fully for Monday. There's no time to waste. Anybody applying for January, in fact, right now, you're even late and behind schedule. Of course, not entirely. Most co-applications will end in October. But people in October, people that have the luxury of visa dates, people in the UK, from China, Germany, countries we get level. We at our own country, we have like 10 million people applying for visa. Well, starting early makes a lot of sense because getting the admission is not really the challenge. It is getting the visa date that's usually the challenge, or getting feedback from the Canadian Visa Center. So you really want to start on time. You really, really want to start on time. Yes, then like I said, if you have a PGD, which your PGD, which you already said you have, you can always try Canada. I will never say never, but the thing is that from the feedback we've seen so far, but it's not like we've tried all the schools. You have to try all the schools for them to say, okay, no, guy, we're not considering you. But just that Canadian schools, they're like the new bride. Everybody's going to Canada, so like their processes can be quite strict compared to the US. That is a little more flexible, and obviously the US has over 7,000 plus universities. So US is a little flexible in their demands compared to Canada, that can be quite annoying with their requirements. Okay, Johnson Ajala, you have the floor. Johnson, you can unmute yourself. I'm unmuting you now.
Okay, I've unmuted my. Okay, can you hear me now, sir?
Loud and clear.
Hello. Okay. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to ask my question. Yeah, do your Japa network, do your company also fund candidates who already got admission to an MBA school in USA, and the person got like a part scholarship, so it needs to make the remaining payment, like up to like 50-55% scholarship was given. So the person needs to pay like the remaining part of the payment. And also this MBA, according to the school, can also be run online. Are you getting it, sir? But they have similar network to provide job opportunity, and they have conferences whereby the candidates will be able to meet other members of the school, the alumni, people in the workforce. So they have like throughout the time the course is going to run. So they have like 2 or 3 conferences and the opportunity for networking the students. By the time they finish their course program, they will have opportunity to jobs and so many other companies. And even if they are entrepreneurs, they have opportunity to venture capitalists and investors and the like. So my question is, do your company also fund such? Since I'm not sure whether the school is part of the schools you are recommending, but it's a high-rated school too. According to them, Quantic School of Business and Technology.
And in the US?
Yes, you can search that out.
No, what's the name of the US? What's the name of the university?
The university? No, it's just a school of business, and just like all this Kellogg School of Business, Harvard School of Business, and the likes. But they run an MBA program and executive MBA program.
every business school is tied to a university.
To a university.
So what's the university? This university that I'm talking of.
Perhaps maybe it's also Quantic University, but my own attention is just on the school, so I don't search out. Oh, I think they have Vela Institute, which is also they run executive MBA program there, but I don't know.
Quantic School of Business and Technology in Washington DC.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't think we support them. What they do is an online MBA.
Yes.
No, so they're not part of this. We don't support online MBAs. We only support MBA programs on ground.
Okay, that's one.
An online MBA will not give you job opportunities in the US.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
That's online MBA. That program that I'm doing, I can tell you for free, might not even be recognized in the US.
Okay. Even though I searched their network of alumni, they are filled everywhere. I mean, we can see them all over the world. I mean, they have their addresses, and we can easily connect and network with them. They have such platform. Although, you know, I have not been there, so, and I don't know how things run out, but according to them, yeah. Anyway, I will take your advice too.
Yeah, so we don't support them. I know Quantic. I didn't realize, in fact, in Googling them up now, I don't notice that I get to see their advert a lot, you know, like within our African ecosystem. But we do not support online MBAs. We only support MBAs on ground.
Okay.
Then, of course, your first question about, you know, let's imagine that Quantic is not the school you're going to. You're going to school we support and partner with, and they give you special scholarship. Yeah, like I said before, we only fund what you need. So you will come and tell us like, well, I need this amount. No, you need to. We're going to do our due diligence on your admission, the admission letter, how much they give to you in terms of scholarship, and you only apply for the balance based on what you really need.
All right. Thank you. That's my question.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And to answer that question about, you know, you asking about if we provide networking opportunities for, you know, our candidates to learn from folks that have gone ahead of them. Trust me, we do. In fact, once or twice every month, we get to invite people in the US, Africans that have gone through the same process, and of course, gotten quality job opportunities post-graduation for them to explain their story, and of course, how they've gotten to where they've gotten to. So you know, people coming to like explain to you what they've done, which is what you're trying to do. It makes a lot of sense. Even whilst, of course, we're in school, we also get to connect you to people that have also taken the process across the world. So they come on the platform during your time on campus. They teach you, they mentor you, they guide you. And I can tell you for free that, see, your success as a candidate is our success. So we're very, very interested in ensuring that we continue to mentor you till you get a job. It's very, very important for us that we continue to provide that mentoring. So Ashley, I'm meeting you now.
Yeah, I want to find out how soon will you get somebody how soon does it take to assign a mentor or a guardian for the after registration?
Immediately, boss. If you join in today, like now,
yeah,
within 30 minutes or 1 hour.
I've already paid, so I just wanted to know so that my question of the schools, the MBA schools that doesn't require GMAT and GRE, and also the one that will be doing that have a 1-year program. I would like to get the information on that.
Okay. So, boss, being that you've already paid in, once you assign a manager on the WhatsApp group, I would see your name. I would even give you the list of myself.
Okay.
Because so
I just paid down. Probably I'm going to send the. Should I send? Where am I going to send the receipt to?
Okay. Please, my colleagues, I will drop that WhatsApp link. So just chat up my colleague. I'll drop the WhatsApp link now.
Okay.
So it's on the group now. So just click on that link.
I've joined the WhatsApp link and.
Okay. Just chat up any one of the admin, but please click on this particular one that has been dropped on the. Is the WhatsApp link to somebody, not the group? The link that you're seeing there's like to a colleague of mine. So she will just take your information and of course, we get you started. So once they add it,
can I send it to? Sorry, can I send it to Deborah?
Bam, Baba, she's actually the one that link that has been dropped now.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, boss. Okay, Fatima Daniel, you have the floor.
Hi, good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. Please, there was a time I joined your program sometime maybe last month. I was actually expecting a letter, but though it didn't come up, sir. There was time I chatted, you said your program don't support it. That's Seneca College. So, but I'm already processing my visa on that. I'm actually processing it, hoping that it comes true. So my question is, I would like to join this your network and pursue is STEM, under STEM, food science technology. So if the visa comes out and maybe I got an
Fatima, we're losing you badly.
Under your own network, can I still use it?
Okay, so Fatima, your network was breaking when you were speaking, but let me just try to recap what you were saying. That you've currently got submitted your document for visa application through Seneca College, right?
Yes.
So, but you're not trying to like work out a plan B where you want to apply for a food technology course in Canada for an MSc straight up.
Yes.
So, and what I'm asking now is that if your visa pulls through, can you come back to us? Of course, totally fine.
Okay.
In fact, Fatima, if your goal is to resume in January, my advice would be that start the school process for that plan B right now, because we both know that if you don't start it now, the next window you're going to be having will be in September. So you want to
end of this program?
Yeah, it will be in September. Like, no, you want to go for that program at the end of your Seneca College program?
Okay, no, I want my admission to be in January. That's what I'm asking. So I want at the end of this now, I will just pay my 22,000 so that maybe you can give me the school and program that will maybe probably still open for January.
Exactly. So that's what I wanted to say now. So that we would have to now look at the list of schools that obviously have an active application for January for this particular program in Canada.
Okay. That you are supporting, because the major thing is
exactly that will support. Yes. So Fatima, yeah, you're totally on point. Whatever plans, in fact, that you even made this progress on your own with your visa documentation, even makes a lot of sense for us too. Because what it simply means now is that our prayer now is for that one to pan out very fine, so that we can just use your plan B to go to the school you want to go to.
Okay. All right, please send the account details. I'll forward it so you can attach me to. It was China, Sheila or so that got those.
Okay, they invited you. Okay, so please, Fatima, just chat up Sheila again so that we can easily track your payment once it comes in. So just chat up Sheila and tell Sheila to just give you the account number so that once you make the payment, you just send it to her. And
I'll do that today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Fatima. Yeah. Okay, so let me just read the questions on the group again, and we'll call it a day for today. What average? I'm interested in that. Okay, thank you. I want to do. I will block him. How long does it work to get US visa after getting admission? Bushi, now what for you? Bushi, they ask the question like saying, I mean, they work for US embassy. Bushi, I don't work in US embassy now. So you cannot ask you that how long does it take to get US visa after getting admission? Your first major focus should be getting your loan approved, getting your admission. Once you've gotten your admission, then of course you not apply for a visa. Like I said, there are ways we help our candidate when it comes to visa issues, but it's not something I'm going to say publicly what exactly we do. But it's for you to just focus on getting your admission and getting your loan approved. Then when you get to that visa bridge, we'll begin to now provide proper guidance on them. Emmanuel Alade Oba, BSc Computer Science. If you have the 2-1 in your BSc, yes, you can do a direct master's to Canada. That totally makes sense. If you are running up by June, Precious, you can join the network today, but obviously you would have to wait till next year to begin your process if you are looking at wanting to finish up your NYSC. But if you're like NYSC, I know I don't send you, man, and you want to leave in January, then obviously you can start immediately. But if you don't want to start immediately because you like Nigeria so much and like NYSC, you can join in. You'll be learning from others, because I can assure you, man, our groups are always busy every day. A lot of information to learn from. So by the time you're starting your own, like you're like totally loaded with quality information, you can join in today. Join in, pay, join in, relax, and observe. But man, I'm just not done NYSC. We can begin to plot you for January. So Emmanuel, I think I've answered your question. OND holder, unfortunately, do not qualify for opportunity. Yes, Gordian Spark. If you want to do a course in agricultural engineering or any of the agricultural sciences, fortunately, those programs are actually STEM designated programs in the US. So we're going to fully support and fund such kind of programs. Yes, Gordon, very, 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 you are so eligible. HND holder mechanical engineering, what do you want to do whether abroad? Most of the get your sponsorship program. Fully, this is not a sponsorship. This is a loan. We're giving a loan, not a sponsorship. You have an HND mechanical engineering. If your work experience aligns with your course of study, and of course you want to go for a master's in mechanical engineering in the US, then like I earlier mentioned, with your quality work experience and your HND degree, you can petition for a direct master's to the US. Canada is totally out of it. I need scholarship. Oh my God, who are these people saying scholarship? We don't do scholarship on this platform, please. Is Southern University and A&M college over there by your company? My colleagues have dropped the list of schools we work with. How many years MBA in the US? Maybe that's your choice. There are 1-year MBAs and 2-year MBA programs. You're not determining what you want to do. Precious, if you're a core member, unfortunately, you cannot do installment payment. You have to pay at once. Installment payment is only applicable to full-time employees. What are the procedure for a master's program in US? Emmanuel, I want to imagine you just came into the meeting now. Sunday, I'm not discouraging HND holders from applying to Canadian schools. I'm just giving you a reality of how Canadian schools operate. They do not admit direct HND graduates because by best valuation, your HND is just 3 years diploma program. So I'm not discouraging you. I'm just like stating the facts. If it's something that obviously can work for everybody, we'll do it now. And it's easy for anybody to lie and give any answer they want just because they want to collect your money. But in Connexp, anyone that knows us know that we do not lie. Our processes and services are, anchored on honesty, accountability, transparency, and our ability to defend whatever we've said here today, tomorrow. So we're never going to say something that we know is totally impossible because we need you to pay 22K to join our platform. So at this point, I think I'll call it a day. So my last question, Eric, if you have an HND, and of course, you have quality work experience, you can apply to the US for a master's. Your quality work experience is now very important with your lower HND. A lower BSc even has more advantage than you with a lower HND. HND with a first class or a second class upper makes a lot of sense. But with lower HND, like it's already hard even for first class HND. So you must really have quality work experience at the back of that HND that is lower. But only US, of course, will be willing to consider you for admission. So, ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues have dropped the WhatsApp link. Any further questions, we can easily throw it there on the WhatsApp link.